So a while back, I made a video talking about the things that I didn't like in computer science students, right? And these were things that I observed both in real life, at school, and online. But these people grow up, they graduate, they get their degrees, they get jobs, they become founders of companies and all this shit, right? So I thought I'd focus my direction for this video just talking about why they still suck as much at 24 as they did at 19. And obviously I'm not talking about everyone here, right? In fact, I'd say most people are just trying to get by and get their, get a job in something that they might not hate doing. But the annoying sycophant college students typically graduate and later become annoying sycophant corporate dick suckers, right? So it's not like a huge evolution there. I think the worst trait about these people specifically, or like the most defining trait at least, is that they don't even necessarily care about writing software, or they're not even necessarily passionate about it, right? And there's nothing wrong with doing a job or getting a career just for the money. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? But it does become very interesting when you still decide to make it your entire personality, Because these people don't necessarily enjoy, actually making stuff or designing stuff. And neither do they just, get good at it to the point where they can just do it as like a for work and just leave it at that, right? They take extreme pleasure in the status of it and the pride of being involved in programmer culture, and checking off a bunch of boxes to show off to people on, LinkedIn or some shit about how successful and how ahead of the curve they are, right? I mean, if you were to really narrow it down, these people principally care about their image and how they look to others, given a certain environment, right? They're like the STEM equivalent of like finance people who care nothing more than getting like an internship at JP Morgan and getting like some nice position as like an investment banker or some shit through connections and kissing the right ass, right? I mean, it's very annoying, especially when so much of the things you see on social media relating to programming or whatever is dominated by these types of people. These types of people who care about very like superficial or artificial things and how they relate to the job market or how they relate to business or how they relate to whatever, right? And those discussions are fun to have on their own. I'm not saying they aren't. But it seems that recently, even content or things that relate to like actual software that people write and projects that people do, they seem to be like driven more towards a specific corporate LinkedIn audience. Like it's almost like they're making it just purely for networking purposes. It's not all of it, but like an increasing amount that I see that gets recommended to me. Maybe I'm just not getting put on to the right people, right? It seems to be like tailored to, specifically made to improve one's own like brand or image in relation to like hiring managers or like corporate LinkedIn people, And I'm not gonna fault anyone for wanting to improve their brand or wanting to network with career professionals and things like that through alternative means of social media or whatever, right? But it just seems that like a lot of software stuff relating to like a lot of software stuff you see online is just missing a lot of authenticity or like soul to it, Especially when you see like all these entrepreneur guys just out of college marketing some purely bullshit like investor hype product that doesn't actually like do anything or exist in reality, but still gets like $1 million worth of funding just because it's playing off of like cryptocurrency or AI or whatever the next big thing is gonna be, right? And I mean, to be fair, shit like that has always existed, but it seems like more and more like new, innovative, quote unquote innovative software stuff that comes out nowadays. It's just maybe it's just a sign of like there's just not as many good software people who are doing like cool stuff with engineering mindsets, and it's just like venture capitalists and people playing off of hype more so than ever, or it's software becoming so abstracted and interconnected that someone offering something that might even be genuinely useful is just like completely lost in jargon and nobody really knows what it exactly does. At least common people don't really know exactly what it does. Or it could even possibly be like a mix of both, right? And this is partly why I think if you want to make anything that's good, you want to design anything that's good, you should keep your ear to the ground when it comes to any new innovations or any new technology or any new whatever trends that are happening in your given space or industry. But don't listen to any influencers or like other like people online. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to fucking some other fucking douchebag, right? You want to get a hold of a old fat balding guy, and you're in. This is not just specific to software, but really anything, right? But software especially. Get a hold of an old fat balding guy who's not like gone crazy, right? And try to learn how they do stuff or how they go about making stuff or how they went about making stuff in their career or whatever, right? Because in software at least, these guys were the ones who built a lot of the big innovative infrastructure that we rely on when it comes to operating systems, when it comes to compilers, when it comes to file encodings or all this different shit, right? And they weren't doing it for status, they weren't doing it because everybody else was doing it. It wasn't cool to, or no one was saying, oh, I'm just gonna go in computer science just like everybody else in fucking 1987, right? During the 80s and 90s, these were just purely a bunch of fucking nerdy guys, mostly doing what they want to do, what they like to do, what they're passionate about.